What up? What up?
Damn it, we're in our bag with these drinks, bro.
Woo! Is it the third week of? I feel like it's the third week straight with like old fashions. Am I wrong?
I don't
know what we
have.
No.
No. It's second because the week before that was a complicated ass berries and all that stuff. Yeah. We didn't get pictures of either one, so we lied to you on the pod. We apologize.
Yeah, watch the YouTube video, goddammit. I'm sorry. We me and Juan got other life shit going on, and we've been slacking on the pictures, but we got it. This one's coming.
Yeah.
So welcome back, everybody, to the Coming From Him podcast. He is Juan and I'm Sean, and every week we get together, have a few drinks, talk about things going on in the world, try to focus on things making an impact, whether they be good, bad, or otherwise. Hit him with the drink of the day.
Damn it, we're renaming this shit the old-fashioned hour because we are in our bag with these old-fashions, bro. This week we got calling it a Oaxacan old-fashioned. So Oaxaca is where they make mezcal in Mexico.
Oh, okay.
So we're going to call it a Oaxacan old-fashioned. So we did a shot of reposado tequila. We chose the Don Julio. Pick a decent, because it's an old fashioned, it's mostly liquor. Say pick a decent one. Yeah. I am curious to see how it would taste with the Teremana because it always sort of delivers. The Teremana is pretty good, so I might try it with that. But this is a little bit higher than the Teremana price point, so don't cheap out on the tequila. Pick a reposado, a good one. A mezcal. So we have the Montelobos mezcal. The other one that's really good is Deguay. Mezcal is really good. The bottle doesn't look like it would be, but it's fantastic because it's like green bottle. So anyway, so you're going to do a shot of the tequila, half a shot of the mezcal, do half a shot of agave syrup, and then I like to do the orange bitters and the Angostura bitters and stir that up in a glass, pour it into a rocks glass with a ball of ice or a cube of ice, whatever you prefer, and then the orange garnish, the orange peel, torched it. And it makes a big difference because that smoky scent hits that mezcal, man. Like, so you get it on the way in and then you get it on the way down, and it tastes phenomenal. Like, I'm even like, damn, this is. I told you when you walked in, I'm like, dude, I can't wait. This just sounds good. I hadn't tried it yet before you came here, so just like putting it together and looking at some of the recipes, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be good, man.
Yeah, dude. When I first took it or went to take the first sip, you get the aroma of the orange, but the burnt orange, right? And then the drink, because of the mezcal, has that smoky flavor to it. So it's almost like the whole thing is sort of smoky. So if you like a smoky drink, have you ever had, what's the is it called like a smoky old fashioned they do in restaurants sometimes?
Where you actually smoke it, yeah.
This is very much like that, minus the smoke.
And we might have done that here earlier on.
You did with the cedar.
Yeah,
you smoke,
with the cedar. Yeah. So and I love smoke, and I just love smoky drinks in general. So this for me, man, is so good. But man, if you're not a fan of bourbons, I would say this is
that's true.
So much smoother in terms of like the palate. If you like, I know some people complain about the burn of the bourbon or like it hits too strong going in. This is actually like a really good, smooth, smoky. You still get that smoky, oaky sort of a feel, but dude, it's phenomenal.
Which is
so good, which is rare. Like normally people are like, I don't like the
or like it's too strong because it's mostly it's like you said, it's really all liquor other than the syrup.
Yeah, man. So this one is whew.
And then the bitters, right? So it's Angostura is the brand.
Yes.
Right? And then you get the orange bitters, and then what's the other one called?
Oh, sorry. Yeah. It's
it has the almost like the all white label, which the orange bitters actually says orange bitters, but they're both Angostura.
Yeah.
I was confused the other day when I went to go pick some of that shit up, and I'm just like, which one do I get? It says Angostura bitters. Which one is it?
I'm gonna tell you right now. It's called aromatic bitters. That's what it is.
That's it. Okay.
Aromatic bitters. But yeah, Angostura is like the one that makes probably the most prominent bitters you see all the time is the aromatic. Yeah. So yep. Man, try that out. It is fantastic. It's so good. Dude, we're like, what, 3 maybe? And we're like, man, this is
the third.
Yeah.
And the last.
I'm like, and it's not even like a tipsy. It's like a good mellow, like, I don't even know how to describe it.
Tequila, man, I've always said that tequila hits different. It's almost more of a high than a drunk feeling.
Yeah.
Like it's a different feeling. It's a nice mellow feeling.
Yeah, it definitely is, man. So I love it, man. So try that out, man. It's fantastic, bro.
Yeah, man. All right. hit me with your carbon footprint,
Yo, man,
please.
my carbon footprint is weak, and I don't know if I ever done this for like a piece of media or something like that, but I'm giving it to The Last of Us, the TV show. It's a TV show on HBO.
Okay, it's on HBO.
Yeah, HBO Max. It is a video. It's a show based on a video game. The video game is probably one of the few video games that I've ever played through more than once in my life, like as far as story mode goes on video games and stuff like that. I was a huge fan of the video game. And of course, with anything that you sort of adapt in a different media format, there's always like the purists or like the original things that you're like, you can't, there's no way you're going to match that. There's no way you're going to. Dude, the creators of this show, and I know a lot of the executive producers are the producers and the writers of the original game. They have done such a fantastic job of translating that story, because it's like when you play the game, it's like you're playing through a movie. And even when you play the game, you're like, man, this would be a nuts, like a really nuts as a movie and all that. And obviously it would be too short as a movie. So you have to do a series. And man, this thing, when I tell you it blows it out of the water in every way, shape, or form, it's like, dude, it's like not only did they capture the angst that comes with you playing the game, like it's a game based, like, you know, it's a zombie apocalypse. There's you know, there's like the zombies have taken over. There's all this when you're playing a video game, you know, you're trying to like sneak by zombies, and there's zombies that you can't make noise or they coming after you. There's like all this, and so there's like this really high stakes and this anxiousness that comes with playing the game.
Yeah,
that they somehow were able to translate into you watching the show. There's
really?
moments in the show where you're like, oh fuck, you know, like. It's so crazy to me. They capture that. And then it's so true. Like if you put them side by side, I mean, to the way it's acted out, the words, like, I mean, it's just so good. Such a good representation. And man, they manage, without giving too much away, like they've even taken like characters that were in the game and given them like backstories. And so they dedicate like a whole episode to like a backstory. And one of them, it's so crazy, man, because it's like an episode where the two guys, and I think it's early on, like episode 3, and the two guys just are gay, right? And so they meet, and so it you know, at first you think like, oh, here comes this woke shit, you know, they're trying to throw into this game, because it's not really part of the game. They sort of allude to it, but again, they never give this character like a full blown backstory. Yep. They do this like love story. And so you're not even, by like 20 minutes into the episode, you forget that they're like a gay couple. You're just like, oh God, this is what finding love is like during this like really fucking horrible time. And you know, the you know, the arguments that they have, and sort of the connections that they have, and the things that bring them together. Like by the end of the episode, you're fucking like sobbing, bro. It's just so well done. And it's just, each one just keeps getting better, man. Like I there might have been one like filler episode in there where you're just like, okay, that didn't, you know, it moved the story forward in terms of like introduction and stuff. But man, there've been 8 episodes. There has been 5 of them where you're like, holy fuck, that is probably the greatest piece of television ever
really
watched. Like,
man.
I know you've been
talking about
fan.
it, man.
And you know, I don't watch shows, man. I don't get into TV much. Like as far as like show, I'm like super selective about, like, I like to watch the same shit over and over because it's mindless. Like there's very few like episodic things that I get into all the time. Like I think Billions is one that like I'll watch when it comes on, but even like Billions, like the whole last season I've missed. I haven't watched that yet. You know, this is one. Like Ozark was another one on like Netflix that I love. But yeah, man, this shit just knocks it out of the water. Like to me, the video game was just so fantastic. If you're into games at all, just play this. I think it's on PC and PlayStation. It's such a good just piece of art. And then the way they've done this show, man, phenomenal. And shout out to Pedro Pascal, who plays the Mandalorian. And he's done a lot of movies, and he's in his bag with a lot of shit now. He plays the main character Joel, and then Bella Ramsey plays the other main character, which is a girl named Ellie. I didn't like when they cast her. She's fucking just blown it away, man. She still doesn't look the part to me in terms of like, you know when you see a character like in the game, like I'm seeing that character. Like she didn't look like that character. But man, the attitude and the acting, and because she plays like a young teen who has like the mouth of a sailor, and is just like, you know, and has only known this world, right? And so she's never been in the normal world. She's always grown up in this like sort of apocalyptic world, and just knocks it out of the fucking park, man. And this last episode, goosebumps. Like there's scenes with her where you're like goosebumps, and she's a child. You know, like, it's so nuts, man.
That's dope. So
shout out to them.
Let me ask you. So is this like a lot of the Netflix series when they come out, where they just kind of blast you with all 8 episodes?
No, and they've been releasing it week to week, man.
Dude, that's the way to fucking do it, bro.
We need to go back to that, bro. I hate watching TV that way, but it fucking got me, man.
But it makes you go back every week, and that's what I think that Netflix is kind of missing. Typically, when they drop a series, they'll drop all the episodes at once, which is great for say, if you want to binge watch. But to keep you coming back every week, like you want your viewers to sign in every week, right? And in this new world, right?
Yeah.
It's not coming to the channel, but you're signing into the application, and whether it's usually, or in this case would be for the show, and then hopefully you'll see other things while you're there. But yeah, man, I think HBO does that really well.
They have to have the best shows on, period right now. I think they're like on fire in terms of like a bunch of service. But dude, to your point, I think it's the difference between being a cultural phenomenon and having a moment, right? Like Game of Thrones was a cultural phenomenon. Like it's water cooler talk every week, every Monday. People are like, holy shit, did you watch yesterday? And it was HBO. And like you said, because they spoon feed you, every Monday, that's all anyone's talking about at work. And then you're like, oh, people are like, don't tell me I haven't seen it. Right. And so you drag this out and you just spoon feed us this, and it keeps us going. Whereas, like that's the difference between that and say like Tiger King, which I never watched it, but like everybody and their mother did. And it was like the thing for like a month. And then it just went away. But like something like this, I'm like, it has
But even
taken
Ozark,
over.
I think Ozark was a phenomenal show, but they didn't do it. Like Netflix would drop the entire season. And so you just kind of watch it, and then you hear somebody talking about it. It would always get the comment of like, "Oh, it's a phenomenal show," but not like what you just described there, the water cooler talk every week about what just happened.
And it had that potential because Ozark is so well written, so well acted, so just everything in Ozark to me. It's like I love
great show.
The girl who plays Ruth. God, I can't think of her name right now. Judy something. Julie Gardner. So anyway, she's phenomenal in that show. And then Jason Bateman is just like you expect him to be funny.
I love that guy.
Oh my God, man, he's funny in this in a dark way, which makes it even better. But yeah, dude, this. To your point, like this is the effect of like of the Game of Thrones, Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad was like week to week, people were watching it, and they sort of just held on to you for so long. And I think there isn't anything right now that's doing that, right? Like I think House of Dragons did that for a little bit, like, but not to the extent.
Yeah, I didn't watch that.
Yeah, and I think they'll get there because the House of Dragon had like a really strong finish. But this Last of Us, man, if you look at like social media, Twitter, all this stuff, it's like on fire.
Yeah.
And I know, and I think the last episode was like one of the highest streamed episodes ever for HBO in anything. It just goes to show how popular it's getting. And it's crazy because you don't have to have played the video game to watch the show because it's literally the same story. Yep. And you don't have to have played the video game to appreciate it. I think it's still a good show that stands on its own. And I know I saw one of the criticisms of it was like, the last couple of episodes, there hasn't been a single like zombie or maybe one.
Oh,
and people are like, they're not even zombies. It's a zombie show. But no, it's like, it's people. It's like the biggest threat in this sort of world, which is like what Walking Dead did really well too, right? It's like the threat in this world, like the zombies are sort of like the background characters. Like it's what do people do when you put them in these desperate situations?
Okay.
And these guys do this really, really well. And yeah, shout out to
I'm definitely gonna hop on it, man, but I haven't done it yet.
I hope I don't overhype it for you. I can't imagine that I would, but it's so good, man. Yeah, so I think just as a piece of art that's going to live forever, I think to transcend from that video game world and now into this show that's going to get a second season. Yep. I'm curious to see how they split that up because the second game was so much longer. I'm going to assume that this first season ends with like where the first game ended, and then you pick up. So, for the next few years, it's at least, I think, going to capture us. Man, I'm just curious to see where they take it and how they do because the story in both games is phenomenal. And just, again, to just have a piece of art that just transcends that. And now it's just become this, it's so cool. I like, how do you do both things really well? It's just nuts to me, man. It's so good. Yeah.
Shout out HBO.
Yeah, man. HBO's holding it down. And I think they have. I've never watched White Lotus, but I know that's like one of the biggest things on TV right now, too. And it's HBO.
I haven't seen it.
Also, yeah. Like that shit is all over like social media.
Dude, I always feel like I don't have time to watch shows.
Me too.
I just don't make time.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's like I don't make time. And I think that's and I try to pick like a thing or two. Like I don't get into like a bunch of them. Like I try to pick, okay, here's the thing I'm watching right now.
Right.
And yeah, man.
Especially on my weekends now, man. Like I've been watching the XFL.
Yeah?
Yeah, I've been watching it, man. And it's, again, it's you'll like I'll see a player here and there that I recognize. I'm really intrigued by the different rules and stuff. So anyway, it's kind of one of those things where I don't watch shows because there's still, like, for me, there's still sports on. So there's like the XFL's on the weekends. NBA is heating up right now, and so I'm kind of into that.
Yeah, man, and XFL, really quickly, I think their ratings are starting to outpace like NHL and MLS and some of the other like ancillary sports that we watch. Yeah,
dude, because the stadiums look horrible.
Yeah,
they look like no one's in there.
Whenever I watch highlights, I'm like, oh, that looks empty, and I'm like, how long can this last? But evidently,
the TV ratings,
week to week, the TV ratings are getting higher and higher.
Wow,
so good, yeah, so good for them. I'm like, you know what? It takes a long time to build something. You figure how much money are these guys willing to lose for X amount of years to build a league, which obviously there's a demand, I think, for football, outside
and
of
and on the heels of them is the USFL, right? They're coming on really soon, so we'll see what happens.
I feel like if I had to predict, those two leagues have to merge, create one big, I don't know that there's room for three leagues.
like the NFL and the AFL.
Yeah. I think you have to do that because I don't think there's going to be room for three leagues. I think there's room for like the NFL and then NFL offseason league, like a G league, so to speak. And it has to be one. So I'm curious to see when those guys just end up merging.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Yeah.
All right, man. My carbon footprint is going out to Will Sutherland, and I'm not talking about the Australian cricket player.
Okay. That's who I was gonna say.
It's funny, man. I was reading the story and I went back in and I'm like, oh fuck, I couldn't remember the website I was on. So I typed in Will Sutherland and this freaking cricket player came up.
That's hilarious.
And I'm like, of course it would be. No, but this Will Sutherland is it's a fellow American, lives in West Virginia, and he built a treehouse on his property in West Virginia for the sole purpose to Airbnb it.
Okay.
He had previously taken a school bus and gutted it and made that into like a little thing that you could rent.
Oh shit, that's cool, dude. You see those all over Airbnb now too.
Yeah,
like houseboats and tree houses and blah blah. That's cool.
Yep. So he lives on like a 4-acre property, and it took him about 6 months to build this, and out of those two things, he has more than replaced his salary. He's making $50,000 a year on that. And if you know anything about West Virginia, $50K is pretty good.
Yeah, you live like a king in West Virginia probably for $50K.
Especially depending on where you're at in that state.
Inflation hasn't gotten there yet. They're a little behind. It's making its way there.
But I'm looking at this guy, and again, nothing that he did that was so impacting. But I think reading the story, sometimes, like I'll come out of weeks or even days of work that are like super stressful, and sometimes, man, like a lot of us wish that we could do something that would substitute our pay, so maybe we wouldn't have to be at this job or be at that job or whatever way you're making money,
or make some passive income.
Yep. Yeah. And it's guys like Will Sutherland that show us that the everyday people that show us that this shit can be done.
And the things that you wouldn't think, or just
outside. A school bus, bro.
School bus, yeah.
I'm never buying a school bus.
No, and he saw more than a school bus, right? He saw an opportunity for, you see now with the container homes, and you see it now with like it's really cool to see, man.
And dude, I'm reading the article. I'm going, I got 2 trees in the backyard.
That's 2 houses. Not for nothing, but then how much could it possibly cost to build a tree house? And
dude, he did it himself.
And he did it himself.
6 months. And not for nothing, bro. I looked at it like it's cool. But it's not like some luxury.
Yeah.
Like, what's that? There's a show on one of these channels.
The Treehouse Show.
The Treehouse Show, where this dude builds like extravagant fucking treehouses,
like luxury
right?
treehouses. Yeah.
It's not like that, but it is a nice little thing. The dude also, I guess, when he first built the school bus, there's no bathroom. So when he would rent it, he would tell the people that he rented to, like, oh, if you need to use the bathroom, like, come into the house, to their house. So his wife, when he wanted to build the treehouse, his wife was like, yo, I'll agree to the treehouse if you build a bathroom for both of them.
Oh, that's wild.
So he built like this really, I guess, whatever, I'll call it, quote unquote, nice.
Like an outhouse.
Yeah. He built like an outhouse.
With a shower, because you can't shower or anything then, right?
No, and again, I didn't see what that looked like, but that was just what the article was talking about, that he built like a bathroom outside that they could use. And yeah, man, 50K a year, bro, over there. And I'm like,
And West, yeah, fucking
dude,
A.
too many of us, are stressed at our jobs. Too many of us are glued to our jobs because the shit that we own really owns us.
Yep.
And it's, it's like I said, man, it's just stories
That
like
paycheck is the biggest drug, right? Like it just keeps coming.
well, I think
keeps
it's not
coming.
even the drug. I think it's the shit that and I'm thinking about what's that song by Papa Roach that talks exactly about that, where he's basically like the things that you own you.
Yeah. Oh, fuck.
And I can't remember the name of the song, but this past weekend, I'll talk about this too a little bit. This past weekend, we had a get together at our house with just like immediate family, and a lot of the comments that I got during that time was just like, "Fuck, man, like I needed this," or like we needed this, and it reminded me of what we talked about a few weeks ago with when you got together with like the men in your family, and it's like, man, you don't even realize that. It's like everybody's kind of going through the shit, the rat race, and we're all stressed out, and for what?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For what? And then you got to do like this. That just goes like, yo, I just built the treehouse in the backyard. And not that we all have that kind of skill, but fuck, man, there's other things that you can do to make money, and you don't need to be in a rat race if that's what's making you miserable.
Yeah, man. And you said it's like the smallest, simplest thing. I tell people all the time, man. It's especially like in the comedy scene here in Orlando, for example. Like, there's a lot of local comics who they may not be national like touring headliners. But they headline enough shows. They do state, shows out of state. Some of them make, 50, 60K a year. They're like, I'll take 50, 60K doing this over sitting at a desk, and I make my own hours, and I, work at night, and I do, some of them will Uber or whatever they want on the side, but they're happy doing that, man. And they're like, I get to tell jokes and people pay me for it. And yeah, sure, it's $100 at some random bar on a Tuesday, but then, they're happy to do that a couple times a week, or as many, or every day, or whatever they have to do. But they're like, yeah, I work an hour today. It's like, I get it, man. Like that, they're as content as can be, and they're just like, I'm just not cut out for the corporate America shit. And I'm like, I get it, man. I get it because we've both been in it for a long time. I think you forget what life can be like outside of that, and so it starts to become sort of your identity. And it's when you stop and sort of separate those things, and you really think about it, you're just like, yeah, your life literally just gets consumed with that, man. And you don't get a chance to.
And dude, I'm watching like the young people in my family that are starting to enter the workforce fall into spaces where they're going, man, like I really need to leave this thing that I'm doing, but I'm making this much money, and so I'm like, yo,
that's how to get you, bro.
Yeah, I'm like, you're already falling into that, and so I'm very like, I talk to my sons all the time, and I go, man, as you listen to these adult conversations, and even like your older cousins that are kind of in their early 20s, you might have one that's like really happy in what they're doing, but the vast majority is just like they're falling into exactly what your parents fell into, and exactly what your aunts and uncles are in, and I was like, take a look at that and take note, and go, do I want to live that life? And if not, what am I going to be doing, or what are my other options?
Yeah.
Just as you move toward sort of adulthood.
Yeah. Like what else can you do with your life, like doing?
And there's plenty.
Yeah, man, there really is, dude, and it's boundless, limitless, man, to make a living, dude.
Yeah, bro.
Dude, there's another way to make a living that just may be getting brought back. I don't know if you saw the revitalizing Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
What? That's a game show.
Yeah, remember the game show back in the day with Regis?
Which one
and
is
some
that?
Other.
Oh, wait a minute.
You answered the questions and all that stuff.
Oh, yes, the Lifeline one.
Yes,
right. You can call
use your Lifeline. So they're bringing that back, but except it's gonna be Nick Cannon, and it's not called Who Wants to Be a Millionaire at all. It's actually Nick Cannon and a bunch of women, and you basically get to compete for a chance to be his next baby mama.
You're fucking lying, bro.
I'm dead ass, and the show is in the works, and it's supposed to be called Who's Having My Baby.
Get the fuck
out
of here.
Yeah. So I just said Who Wants to Be a Millionaire because it's the same thing.
Dude, so he's That's right. He's not married, right?
No, he just has a bunch of baby mamas, and he just yeah. And he's like, I'm not stopping until the Lord tells me to. So Nick is on a fucking rampage, bro.
Bro,
Whatever that means, he's on a rampage.
Who is picking that up? That is
somebody will, dude. We like,
and then the show will sponsor.
Yeah,
they have to.
The show is brought to you by Plan B. Psych.
Bro, how many kids does Nick Cannon have? Like 9?
He's some shit like that. I think maybe
that, right?
more, man.
It's like him and Elon Musk are trying to like.
Yeah, they're trying to repopulate
the word.
Yeah. Or Mars. They're like, we sending them on to Mars. Bro. That shit is so wild. I'm like, because I had the same idea you had when I'm like, ain't nobody picking that shit up. Then I went, nobody fucking has to, bro. You can just put it on the internet.
Yeah.
You can put that shit on OnlyFans and people will probably pay, or his own YouTube channel or whatever the fuck, bro.
Nah, Viacom will fucking.
Yeah, they probably will, bro.
Don't they owe him?
Because how is this any different than The Bachelor? Or yeah, like or you know, Bachelorette or whatever.
I don't did that. Those shows, man. I mean, God bless them, man. They've been around. Listen, they're successful, right? They've been around for many years.
Somebody's watching.
So enough people are watching. I don't fucking get it, bro.
Man. I think if you got to go on a TV show to find love, it says a lot about you. And possibly the people who are on that show to find.
Yeah, dude. And then, do those shits typically last? Because they're different people all the time, right?
Yeah.
You know, it would be great if they just brought back the same person every time.
Oh, yeah.
Because it just never works out.
It just never works out. You just keep bringing back the same. Like, last one didn't. Let's do like, remember what Real World Road Rules used to do? They brought back the All-Stars. Mm-hmm. So bring back the All-Stars from the Bachelor. They probably do some shit like that.
The ones that didn't fucking work.
The ones that did.
Oh, man. That would be fucking great.
But yeah, man. So shout out to Nick Cannon, bro. Trying to, he created millionaires one at a time, repopulating or populating Mars.
I want to see that now.
He's bro. What are you doing to compete for a slot? Like, this is what I want to know. Like, I'm really curious to see, how are you deciding this? Like, is it a pageant? Is there a talent show?
Or is it like a Bachelorette or a Bachelor?
Yeah.
Right?
Like, where you have to prove you're like, I don't know.
But knowing that you're not going to be with him after.
Right. You're just going to get knocked up. Who wants to get turkey basted by Nick Cannon at the end of the season? Yo,
it would be great if he impregnates them throughout the season.
No, I was just thinking that, bro.
There's multiple
How
winners.
awesome would it be if there's multiple? It's like, oh, spoiler alert. Bro, and dude, and then the season finale is him fucking him. That shit would be
Nick
crazy,
Cannon,
bro.
Good for you.
Yo, good for Nick Cannon, bro. He got one of the funniest shows ever in a while, and now he about to have this shit.
And that's still on, right?
It is, bro, and this shit still slaps. It's so good.
And then a couple of those dudes got like their own podcasts and stuff, right?
And DC Young Fly, man, like a lot of those guys.
It's in him and there's another guy that does like a podcast, I believe.
And they're so damn funny, and they're touring comics and do that stuff, man. So like, it's created a lot of stars out of that little show.
Oh, so they like stand-up comics as well?
Yeah, DC Young Fly tours, man. So does Chico Bean. So those guys do their own like stand-up shows, and they tour.
Chico Bean is funny, bro. I've seen him interviewed. Like on
like
Brilliant Idiots.
But yeah, Brilliant Idiots.
And he's great, bro.
He's so good, bro.
Yeah.
He's so good. And DC Young Fly to me is hysterical. And that
guy.
I've
never seen him his stand up though.
Oh, he's so funny, man. And he's good on Wildin' Out, man. He's great on Wildin' Out, man. He's probably the funniest person on that show. I would think. Yeah. So man, shout out to them, man.
Dude, let me tell you who wants to be a millionaire though.
Go, you got another one?
Yeah. Erica Herman, aka Tiger Woods' chick. Tiger Woods' side chick.
Dude, I saw this. It's side chick.
Oh, his used to be side chick.
Is this the not the waitress, I'm sorry. Is this the girl who ran his restaurant?
I don't know.
Okay, because he had a girlfriend that was the girl who ran like his restaurant down in Jupiter, and then he became his girlfriend, like, and she was like his GM, and then suddenly became his girl. Like, is this the same girl?
I don't know.
Okay.
But I seen a picture of her, man. She's not really hot.
No, it's Tiger never. Like, he's an equal opportunist, bro.
Oh, he don't give a fuck.
Tiger's like, yo, Tiger's fucking UNICEF. He's like, I just want to help. These guys never
come to the mansion.
Yeah, this guy, Bro, shout out to him, bro. No one's more philanthropic than Tiger Woods. He doesn't get, bro, for a guy with his stature and just like, he just goes for like fours, left and right, bro. He's trying to hit low on and off the golf course, bro. Good for that guy. He's like, I'm going for par.
She's going. That's exactly how I was just gonna say that shit.
This fucking guy, man.
Dude, so this chick, she signed back in like 2017. She signed this like NDA agreement,
Okay.
but apparently, due to, as she claims, there's like a clause in there that says if there's like sexual harassment that goes on, that she can, I guess, break the clause.
Okay.
So, according to her, I think part of this is true. At least, she was tricked to get out of the mansion. So they fucking told her. So first of all, Tiger doesn't own his mansion in Jupiter.
Oh, he doesn't?
No, well,
Company owns the.
It's owned by the trust.
Yeah. Okay. Makes sense. That's
Okay.
rich people. Yeah. He should. Absolutely.
Right.
Yep. Smart.
So, according to her, sorry. I guess some of the people that help run the trust, like told her, yo, like you're going on vacation, like hotels paid for, blah 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 blah. They take her to the airport and they like, don't come back.
That's a modern. Instead of sticking cheese on a rat trap, there's an Uber outside. There's a private jet on the other side of that. Just get in the Uber.
But she claims that it was a verbal agreement or an oral agreement that she was going to get to live in the house for 11 years. And so she was like, well, he went against his agreement. So based on the 5 years that I'm owed, or that I'm still owed, I need $30 million.
Dang, she wants 30. So this
30
is why alimony
million.
as a girlfriend.
Yep.
Dude, and I think that's, I don't know if Florida is. There are states that allow you alimony payments. There's another name for it. It's not alimony. There's another
It's
name.
something else. I know what you
But for like girlfriends or boyfriends or whatever like that.
Well, but I think after a certain amount of time, what is it? You're almost like married by law.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not married, but it's something to that effect. But I don't think Florida is one of those.
I don't think so
states.
either. Yeah.
So she's probably not gonna get shit.
Damn.
In the court documents, she did check yes for allegations of sexual abuse.
Ooh.
But I was like, yo, man, you with Tiger? You know his history.
He like step on these balls. Hop on my stomach, bro. Yo, Tiger's a wild boy, bro. Oh my, because the Tiger stories have got to be crazy, bro. But these NDAs keep him from coming out, man.
But dude, if you could be in a room with that guy, just letting loose, you know what I mean? Like
I would love
the
to have
stories
a drink
that would
with Tiger, bro.
right?
Yeah, bro. Because the other thing
I'll
is,
sign an NDA, guy.
yeah, fuck yeah, to hang out with Tiger and listen. Yeah, just give me like a whole day with this guy, bro. Oh my god, bro.
Before you leave, you'd be like, bro, what can I say?
Yeah, I don't think she'd qualify for the Nick Cannon show, but maybe she should look into that opportunity. Nick Cannon at least has good taste.
Yeah, I was gonna say Nick. I seen the picture of this chick. No,
Yeah, Nick Cannon at least got the like good taste in women where you're like, yeah, that'd be hard to pull out of. This bitch look like, do I want to put it in?
yeah, she's not cute.
It's got to be the waitress chick, man, or not the waitress, the restaurant manager girl, whatever. Dude, that's fucking crazy, bro. Yo, is that's crazy. When you fuck with somebody like Tiger Woods, you get a fly of shame. They put you on a fucking plane and you just there sad for no reason, going to like the Bahamas.
Yeah, at least you got a vacation out of it.
Yeah, true, bro. And then
Let me show you a picture of this.
yeah,
And this is probably a good picture. But the good picture is not, there. Look.
yeah, nah, bro.
Yeah.
Nah, that is the person I was thinking about too.
Is it?
Yep. So nah, bro. Listen,
For those of you who haven't seen it, check it out or zoom in on the YouTube. not that good.
It's not worth $30 million.
As a matter of fact, it wasn't worth the 30 seconds to go look it up.
It wasn't worth the Uber to the airport.
And I love that he said the members of his trust.
Yo, you know that motherfucker say, I'm going on a golf tournament. And then he's like, yo, get her out of here before I get back.
Have you seen his mansion on
oh my God.
So it's like on the, it's like just off the beach.
Yeah. In Jupiter, it's like,
yeah.
And I think Jupiter,
tennis courts.
It's one of the most expensive zip codes in America.
Is that right?
Oh yeah. It's in the top 3 or to 5 for sure. Like it's up there with like some of the zips in Connecticut and like Alpine, New Jersey, and it's fucking crazy. Like it's almost I think Jordan has a house on Jupiter. It's nuts, and that house that he has is bananas and like in front of the ocean. Like it's a great look. It's great. God, that house. The first time I saw it, I remember my jaw just being like,
dude. So you see this shit with staying with sports, man. Daniel Jones.
Yo, he's pulling the heist of the century. Fucking man.
Did he get like 160?
He's about to get 160 guaranteed, but it's potentially worth up to 195 with incentives.
Oh, I thought it was 160 if he made the incentives.
195 with
wow.
So I get the 160, and I think 160 of it is guaranteed. It's 40 mil almost a year. Whatever. The way it's staggered, it's not exactly 40 mil, but it averages 40 mil a year.
Dude, that has to be part of
for Daniel Jones.
That has to be part of the coach going, yeah, like the guy's worth it.
I can make it work. But I think that shows how good that coach is, right? It's like he turned Daniel Jones allegedly right into this like playoff quarterback. Dude, Daniel Jones had less touchdowns last year than Russell Wilson did. He threw for less touchdowns than Russell. Yeah. Yeah. So like I think what gets lost in this mix is that the Giants made the playoffs, but Daniel Jones threw for like 15 touchdowns. That's not impressive. You're averaging less than 1 a game. Yeah. So it's like to me, I've seen enough of Daniel Jones to know Daniel Jones is not a $40 million a year quarterback. The problem is that Deshaun Watson ruined the quarterback market.
Right. And so you got to do something.
So you got to do something. But to me, I would have franchised him, man.
And either that or
figured out another year. Like if he just breaks out suddenly and goes off, then all right, cool. I'll give you 40 if that's the sort of what the standard is now. But I think this is what they're doing to Lamar Jackson. I think the owners, I talk about them colluding with the whole Colin Kaepernick thing. I think this thing with Lamar Jackson could possibly fall into that collusion thing, because I think what's going to happen is they're going to go, Deshaun Watson, because that owner to Houston fucked it up for all of us. Like this shouldn't be normal. Right. And so, Deshaun Watson got his money, Aaron Rodgers has his money, and then I think Dak, got his money, where they're all like this top paid quarterback. I think these owners are going to go, fuck that. We need to correct this again. I don't know if you remember, like, it's probably less than 10 years ago where the number 1 pick automatically got this like massive contract.
Yeah, then they stopped that shit.
And then they stopped that shit. I think this is what's going to happen to these quarterbacks is that these owners are going to go, man, like we got to like agree here that you can't keep giving $40 million to somebody like Daniel Jones. Like $40 million, like Tom Brady's never made $40 million a season, I don't think. And like Aaron Rodgers is making that now.
But at the tail end of his career, right?
Like, exactly. Like, I don't know that he was making that before. So
what does Pat Mahomes make?
Dude, Pat Mahomes has a very team-friendly deal, because remember, it was a 10-year deal worth $500 million, but it was like, the way it was laced out was like, because they signed him and they signed him early, and then Pat Mahomes was like, I want to win some titles. So he's like, okay, I'll take the 10 years. And he knows he's going to make all this money off endorsements and all that. And he wants them to be able to sign Travis Kelce, and he wants them to be able to keep like a decent team around them. He took a team-friendly. People were like, fuck, $500 million over 10 years. That's crazy. That's $50 million a year. It's actually a fucking steal, because the way they gave it to him was like a lot of money is in bonuses up front, and then his average annual salary just goes up later, where it's still going to be lower than all these guys now, man. It's fucking crazy to me, man, that somebody like Daniel Jones is commanding $40 million. Like, I
thought they would have franchise tagged him.
I think they should have. I don't know how
they did it to Saquon.
And I think you can only do it to one. No, I think you could do it to one player at each position, can't you? Or one player at each.
I don't know what the rules are.
Yeah, but like, yeah, man, I'm just flabbergasted. And to your point, it has to be the coach going like, no, keep this guy around, because how the fuck do you... Dude, Daniel Jones and Ryan Tannehill are the same guy. Tannehill signed a very like team-friendly contract, like, 5 years, 125, whatever it was, for whatever. I'm like, okay, that's reasonable. Like, that's top... That's like middle tier quarterback, 25 mil. That's what Daniel Jones is. The fact that this guy got $40 million is crazy. And I think I think because of deals like this is
So
why Lamar's not getting his money.
Is it a 4-year deal?
Yeah. It's a 4-year deal at 160, 195 if he makes these incentives. So you're talking about close to $200 million for Daniel Jones, who hasn't done shit.
So you're essentially going, who's the Brian Dable?
Yeah.
The coach. You're essentially going like, this is your guy for the next 4 years. And if you guys don't do this shit together, probably you're both gone.
Yeah, right. Like you would have to think that something like that is happening,
so.
that and a conversation like that has to be happening, because the flip side to that is like they go, okay, we draft and we start over, which I get, it's not ideal. And if you're Brian Dable, probably not ideal. But then if you're them, do you go and sign Derek Carr? Are they not the same guy? You probably get him for less. Do you sign?
I would have thought Derek Carr would be a better sign.
Probably. Than Daniel Jones, to me, is more proven. Do you go get, hell, Jameis Winston is going to be on the market because Derek Carr just went to New Orleans. Do you go, Geno Smith, do you go sign him if you're, which I know Seattle just gave him a good deal. But yeah, man, Geno Smith got paid. I think he got like a 3-year, $100 million deal or something like that.
Wow.
Like 3 or 4 year, $100 million.
That guy. Didn't that guy's been in the league for a while.
He's a backup, bro, for the last few years. And
been a backup really for life, right?
For his whole career, essentially, because after his first season, he was kind of
first season, right?
And
who drafted him?
Jets, yeah. And like, dude, to me, I've been watching the Lamar thing closely because I think, by them doing that non-exclusive franchise tag, it allows him to go to teams and basically his agent I think is him and his mom or somebody like that.
Wrong
they can
move,
negotiate. Bro. Yeah, man. And I know that I get what he's trying to do. I get he doesn't want to give away his money and all this stuff, but there's this would have been closed a long time ago for a regular agent. But
dude, cut that computer off.
Yeah, he wants to I think what's going to happen with him is that, so this non-exclusive franchise tag allows him to go and negotiate with teams. And then it gives the Ravens the ability to sort of match the offer, and then he has to stay. I think this is their way of going, you think you're worth that? Let's see who's going to give you that. And to me, this has to be owners behind closed doors going, are we giving Lamar Jackson $50 million fucking dollars right now? Like, this is for all of us. Like, no matter how bad you want to win, we need to get this fucking tier thing back down. Like, we can't give away $50 million now to every quarterback that pops up.
So, as a franchise tag, what is he making next year?
I think he has to make whatever the average is of the top. I forget what the rule is, like top 3 to 5. Like he's getting a lot.
So he's getting a lot either way.
Yeah,
he's going to be getting close to 50 anyway.
Yeah, but he's getting it for 1 year, and you're non-committal long term, and the way it hits your salary cap is like friendly for you being able to sign other players. So,
okay,
it's man. I think that this is him. If I'm the Giants, I think that shit was bananas, but. Again, because of the market right now, man, maybe that's just what the normal market is. I wouldn't have given Daniel Jones especially I would have made Daniel Jones play out another year. Like I think it's a player option or a team option. Like if Daniel Jones thought he could go get $200 million out on the free market, I'm like, go, bro.
Go get it.
Go get it. I can't imagine that there was this big market.
Dude, not for nothing, man. Even 160 at 4 years. I don't think he's worth it.
No. I think if he would have been a 5-year deal at 150 with incentives or something like that, okay, cool.
$30 million a year.
Yeah, fine. $30 million a year, I could have like, I get it. $40 million a year, man, he just hasn't done enough for me. And especially for a guy who played worse than Russell Wilson last year, but the team made the playoffs, and so the narrative gets lost in that whole thing. It's like,
what do you think Aaron Rodgers is going?
I actually thought he retired. But I keep hearing, I didn't think he was coming back, man. But I keep hearing the Jets are like.
I thought he was going to go to the Raiders, man. Who are the Raiders looking at then?
Man, that's going to be interesting because I
actually would think that that's a better fit.
No, probably. And you get to play indoors, and at his age, like to me, going to the Meadowlands at almost 40, you have to have a cannon to throw in there. It's windy. It's like thing like,
it's cool.
He does have a great arm, but I'm like, go indoors, go to Vegas, go. It's warm weather. It's I'm like, yeah, I think the Vegas would have been the better fit. But
and he's close to California.
And he's close to California, yeah.
He's from, right?
And all the hippie shit that he likes to do out in the desert and whatever.
They got Devontae Adams over there, which he loves.
That's a big.
I thought that would be the right fit for him. And then
Renfro's still there, right? That's a good. Like I felt like he had and they have a good offensive line. Like they've been listen for John Gruden for all the shit that happened with him. He was putting together the right pieces. Like good O line, defensive line. They're a good defensive team. Like, yeah, it is a better fit. So, I don't know why you'd consider the Jets other than maybe he feels like they're more competitive. I don't know. Because they were...
I mean, a great defense, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
I don't know why you put yourself through that.
I always feel like the Jets are cursed anyway.
Yeah, and it just doesn't have that same ring to it. But like, like the Jets just have that like, it's like going to Cleveland. You know what I mean? It's
Right. No,
like even the Giants have, like when you look at New York, like the Giants have that better.
It's a good
like,
comparison,
New
man.
York, right? Yeah, like you the Jets, it's just like it's like the Mets. You know what I mean? Like it's like you're in New York baseball, and you're like, oh, I'm a Mets. It's like, it's like what the Bills used to be, but the Bills actually have a better following. So I guess it's a bad comparison. But like in New York, when you looked at all the New York teams, it was like,
Buffalo's not in New York.
Buffalo's not, yeah, and that's what you would get, right? So yeah, it's just, I actually thought he walked away, but I keep hearing that these conversations with the Jets are heating up. So I'm like, maybe he's told them that he's not, that he wants to get traded instead of walking away. So I just thought he would. I thought he'd retire. I didn't think he could. My money was on that Brady would come back and probably go to the Oakland or Miami, and then that Aaron Rodgers would retire, and obviously Brady walked away.
Dude, if Brady comes back, he's got to go to San Fran.
See, I thought that up until this whole shit with Purdy going off, and then they had that other kid there. I'm like,
oh, Trey Lance?
Yeah, I thought, okay.
Yeah, but both of them are hurt.
They're cheap too. Yeah, because you can keep all three of them.
They're cheap and they hurt. You can keep.
Yeah, you let go of Garoppolo, and then you just Garoppolo. I thought would end up on the Jets. That's who I was kind of.
That's who the rumors are. Garoppolo may be going to the Raiders. That's
with McDaniels.
Again,
that could work because McDaniels coached him in New England, and Garoppolo was good as a backup there. So
yeah, so we'll see.
We'll see, man. That's gonna be interesting to watch, man. But sports is fucking eventful, man. You mean Ja Warrant trying to get fucking arrested over here, bro? Oh man,
I'm glad you brought that up, dude. So those of you who have not seen, Ja Morant went on Instagram Live flashing a gun in a club. Ja Morant is a phenomenal basketball talent. Freaking
part of the future, really, of the NBA.
Of the NBA,
of the next, like, I don't know. If there's 10 players in the NBA, they're going to carry the league over the next decade.
He's definitely one of them.
He's one of them. Yeah.
So, and of course, since that happened, they brought back last summer he hit like a 17-year-old kid and like flashed the weapon to the kid. And it was something else that he did too, right?
Yeah, man. And then,
what was the other thing?
But I think that this isn't the first time that he's gotten into those arguments out on these basketball courts and stuff. And then now, most recently, he went on IG Live and brandished a gun in like a club in Colorado.
Yep. So, dude, here's my thing of that, man. Like, I had some thoughts on him, and I don't know exactly where he grew up and what kind of family he had.
Didn't have a ghetto upbringing, bro. He's a kid from like a 2-parent household, good upbringing. His dad is always at all the games. Like, he's from everything that you hear, grew up very stable, very normal,
that's good.
Supportive family.
Now, what kind of neighborhood did he grow up in? Because here's I was thinking it's got to be tough. So he's 23 years old. It's got to be tough to be in your early 20s, to have that much money and that much fame. You almost become like the person that in your family that everybody's looking up to. Yeah. So you're almost a leader without knowing how to.
You're not asking for it. Yeah.
You're not asking for it.
You're just automatically placed there.
Automatically, right. And you're the breadwinner. Everyone's depending on you. There's a lot of pressure that comes with that. You go from being, famous in maybe locally in high school, then you're famous nationally in college, and then now you're worldwide at the age of 23. Mm-hmm. Dude, if you can think back to when you were 23, we do we do dumb shit because we're trying to
through the end of time. But
true, but we're trying to figure out how to, what does it mean to be a man? What does it mean to be responsible?
Ego, man.
Right.
Trying to learn how to control that ego.
That too, man. And also, and then in trying to be a man, there is that part of you that you go I don't want to be punked either. Right? And so all of these things that normally every guy goes through, he's going through it as well, but he's got these other pressures on him. And he's not able to do those things. Like this thing on the last summer. If he was just some random 22-year-old young guy and he got into a fight with a 17-year-old, no one would ever know about it.
Nope.
Except locally, right? It's just because he is who he is. This thing of flashing the gun and on Instagram, it's like, or at a club, is it the right thing? No. But if it's somebody else, if it's me, like that doesn't even make the news. You know what I mean? No one cares.
But I think because he's him is why he should make a better decision, right? Like because he's Ja Morant, he should have.
But are you not Juan Lorenzo at 23, no matter what?
Sure. Yes and no, because I think I hear what you're saying about like, hey, you're young and we all make stupid mistakes when you're young, but you also have your life isn't normal in every way.
Absolutely.
And so I think and listen, I can't, I'm one of those people who like sticks up for somebody like a Justin Bieber for being a shithead, right? Because you can't hand someone that type of money, fame, control, like you said, being the sort of man of the house at like 15 years old and then expect them not to be a shithead at 23. So I get why Ja Morant, does the shit he does. I think for me, it was to me, do some dumb shit like go speeding in a car and get pulled over or if he had got into the fight like that, I can almost get because you're out of court. I'm sure dudes are checking you. That ego gets the best of you. Bro? Everybody checks.
Can you imagine if he goes out for a dunk and then this 17-year-old kid pushes him?
Yeah, so I absolutely understand
like
that. To me, you thought through I'm at a club. I'm going to pull out this gun. I'm going to turn on my phone. I'm going to hit record. I'm going to do this whole bang, bang. Like to me, now I'm going, okay, now you're stupid because now that's your ego going, I'm trying to be hard. I'm trying to fit in with this thug life shit. I'm trying to do.
I totally agree, bro. I totally agree with that. But I'm also going, there's also that piece of you that's like, I still want to be down. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But
especially when you get around people that you grew up with.
But I think you have to start thinking about who are you trying to be down for? You trying to be down for the hood?
Dude,
I'm trying to be down for the dudes in your neighborhood? You trying to be down you're Ja Morant, bro. And you get caught up in the whole oh, you changed, bro. Like, yes, I did.
That's it, bro.
I did.
And that's it. And I'm saying at 23, that's hard to hear. And it's hard to go. It's hard when you're going like, yo, like I'm still me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Around the dudes that you've known forever, that shit that you said it right there was just like, bro, you've changed. And yes, the mature Ja Morant would be like, goddamn right, I changed.
Yeah, I should.
Because I can't do this shit that we used to do anymore. But at 23, bro, I'm just going, that's a difficult decision, or it's a difficult way to live. Again, when you're in that early stages of sort of manhood and to be able to make those right decisions, there's not many people that can do it. Like LeBron, dude, the guy doesn't get enough credit because the phenomenal life that guy has lived and the fact that he's been able to stay out of trouble and be active in social issues and again not ever get in trouble.
Our biggest knock on LeBron is that the guy held the TV special to announce that he was leaving to Miami, and then we're like, oh, he hasn't won enough titles. It's like, okay, bro,
yeah,
shut up. Yeah, dude, I think for John,
did you see his fucking thing that he got?
Oh my god, the king shit or the scoring. I love that shit. Flex on him, dog.
So those of you not seeing, he got like this medallion that's has a lion in the center. And then around it says like something like NBA leading scorer or some shit like
that. like king of
all time leading scorer.
Yeah,
like
good
that.
For him, bro. But I think the Ja Morant shit, bro, is like there's been build up to this. I think the fight thing that's happened more than once. All this shit, and so then I look at bro, what are you trying to prove? Who are you trying to be down for? You could do that without going on IG. Think that shit through. I'm going on IG Live. I'm going to brandish a gun. I'm going to do that. Who is that for? And then it's how is that serving you moving forward? I said, I get you're 20-something, and so you're not thinking that. You're just I want to be down for the cause or whatever. But to me, man, and I think the quicker these kids realize this, the quicker your life changes, bro, it's cool to walk away from those scenarios. And to me, being that... And granted, 23-year-old me would have definitely got probably, would have been trying to be flexing all that shit, right? But I think about, dude, I've been in scenarios at whether it's a bar or whatever where some dude is chirping. We talked about this the other day where some dude on an airplane once, I was, going off. And in my mind, I'm going, I want to fuck this guy up. But the other part of me is going what does this guy have to lose and what do I have to lose? And at the end of the day, I have significantly more to lose probably than this guy. And so if you're Ja Morant, you have to go, all right, man, I have a lot to lose by looking cool? Like, because it's an automatic 50-game suspension if he does this shit on NBA premises, like on a team premise, sorry. So, and I know there's not going to be any criminal files charged because he did it in Colorado, and I think there has to be enough evidence to prove, like, does he have a license?
They couldn't even find the gun, and then
so
no
you
one
can't
was in
charge him with
danger and
anything.
shit,
No.
man, yeah.
So, but you go, okay, so you got lucky, but do you pull the Plaxico Burress one day where you shoot yourself in the fucking leg, or, you remember that shit?
Yeah, I remember that shit.
Or it's New York where it's like a zero tolerance policy. Now you're in jail for 2 years, or the NBA suspends you for 50 games, or like, and I think the NBA, because of sort of the backlash that a lot of these sports leagues have gotten over the last few years over certain things, will not hesitate, I think, to make an example out of Ja Morant.
I agree.
I think they will take the opportunity to go, oh, you're out for 50 games or whatever, whatever that is going to be. I just think, man, it's stupid of him at this point, at this level. And I fault to the NBA for not, you need to create programs for these kids that do walk them through, like, hey, bro, I don't know, man, some kind of counseling, and maybe they do, but like this shit is so dumb, bro. I get it if he's there and he's drunk and he gets into a fight. I get that. To me, what I can't get past is the deliberate decision to, like, you had to bring the gun with you to a club. Hey, you had to turn on your phone. You had to turn on the Instagram app. You had to hit record on that live. You had to take there's just too many steps along the way where you just go, all right, bro. Like, all of them sounded like a good idea, like every single one of those steps. And then I don't know if you saw Paul Pierce, which I think I defended Paul Pierce when ESPN sort of let him go because of the whole shit with the hookers and the smoking and all that shit.
Yeah.
But now I'm going, okay, Paul, you're making bad decisions. Because I don't know if you remember, Paul Pierce got stabbed a shit ton of times in the club in a crazy fight back in the day. Paul Pierce almost died at a nightclub. Early NBA days, almost got, banned from the league, almost lost his life, right? And so he sees this and he's like, you guys don't know what us NBA players go through. Like, after that shit happened, I was strapped up all the time or whatever, or I was scared to go out, and you don't know what Ja's been through. I go, yeah, bro, this wasn't that. He went on fucking Facebook and he's brandishing a gun. Like, be fucking smarter than that. Like, you're an OG to NBA guys. People should look up to you. You've been through this shit. You should be at that smarter stage in your life. And you're going, oh, get off his back, like you don't know what he's been through. Bro, it's one thing to pull out the gun because somebody was threatening you. It's another thing to just take it out on IG Live and just start flexing. That's fucking stupid. That's hood rat
and I'm
shit,
not,
bro.
and I'm not defending the fact that he did that. It was a bad decision.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going, when there's, if there's alcohol involved, and again, you're in these situations where, like I said, you're kind of becoming a man, and the people that perhaps that you're hanging out around are not in the same situation as you are, right? So they don't have near
Nobody
as
has
much to
anything
lose
yeah.
as you do. I mean, right? If in a perfect world, right? That's why a lot of these guys, like, when we just talked about Tiger Woods a while ago, the guy has a mansion in Jupiter and he's got tennis courts and a fucking golf course on his
Never
premises.
has to leave his
He
house.
doesn't have to leave, and he knows who comes. He can allow the
signing
people who
NDAs.
can come in, and people are signing NDAs, and so you can understand why guys of that stature live those kind of lives. And I think that Ja is too early in the game. Perhaps people that he's hanging out with don't have his best interests
Clearly,
at heart.
No.
And so I just go, damn, man, that's tough.
You're
tough
growing
spot
up in
to
the
be
public
in
eye, yeah.
at 23.
I hear what you're saying. Like, I don't disagree that you're gonna do stupid shit at 23. Like, I definitely think, and it's like, not to be too hard on them, because, like, again, we've all done dumb shit in 20s and 30s and whatever. Like, you do. I think. Like, when you're a pro athlete too, man, it takes so much discipline to get there. And I think what this sort of, like, it just shows too, it's like this massive lack of discipline, but also how fragile the male ego is, again, because I think he's
Absolutely.
like looking for this opportunity to flex and look cool for somebody. But to your point about, like, the Tiger thing, I go, yo, if you're Ja Morant and you even think you need a gun when you go out, and, like, that's the other part of this, then you shouldn't go out.
You probably shouldn't go where
You should
where
just
you're trying to
where
go
you're
to.
trying to go to. Like, that in itself should tell you. And I know people are gonna say, "Oh, but
at
him live his
23,
life." And
but
all
we
that
wanna
shit.
go to the club at
We
23,
do,
man.
But if you're 23 and you're Ja Morant, the club comes to you, bro. Like, to your point, like, how many stories have you heard of, like, the Drakes of the world? Like, everybody pulls up to some fucking house he rented in LA, and everybody's signing NDAs and phones go in a basket, and
true that.
epic nights. And then, like, to me, like, then you don't need to go to a club. You're Ja Morant, bro. Throw a party at your house. Tell your handler to tell whoever, yo, I need a bunch of people, friends, women, whatever the fuck, blah, blah, blah. Everybody get here. Yo, sign these NDAs. Throw your phones in the basket. You know, fucking wand everybody down for guns or whatever you got to do. And then go have a good time, bro. Like, to me, take advantage of the access and the influence that you have. And then part, like, because you can still party. Like, I get that. Like, dude, when Justin Bieber's like rolling around Miami fucking wrecking Lamborghinis and he's wilding out, I'm like, I fucking get it. Like you handed this kid the keys of the world at 15 years old. This is what you're going to get. And so in a lot of ways with Ja Morant, you're going to get this. To me, it's more of the conscious decision to just like do hood rat shit on IG. Right. I'm just like, but that's some shit somebody I know would do. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just like, you know, like we all know those guys who are like in their 40s still trying to act hood and shit online, and we all laugh at them on Facebook and shit. Where I'm just like, why are you doing that, man? Like you're so much. It's so much cooler to just be fucking Ja Morant, the basketball player, and the thing. Like, you just don't need this, man. I hope he learns from it, bro, before it's too late. Because what you hate for this to happen is it turns into like the old Jason Williams, remember the Nets player Jason Williams, or like. You know, like, God forbid somebody gets hurt at some shit because one of his boys does something, or, you know, like, you throw away a whole career and, you know, a promising career that he has, man. You hope that the growing pains don't sort of do anything catastrophic, like that they are just, hey, stupid mistakes, and he learns from them and move forward. So hopefully he does, man. So
shout out to Ja, man. Hopefully, like I said, hopefully he learns from this shit. And but we'll see. The people will be watching.
Yeah, they definitely will, man. Listen, Ja Morant is like, I see him and I think of like the Derrick Rose from a decade ago. Like I feel like he's that for this era.
Oh,
he's
really?
That explosive athlete.
Do you think that he won't have longevity? Although Derrick Rose is still playing, right?
Not from that standpoint. I think he's not going to be the guy on a championship team.
Gotcha.
I think he's going to be the fun watch. Like, to me, he's Derrick Rose. He's Russell Westbrook. He's the guy. They'll make some playoff runs. They're going to do that. But he's not going to win a title being the man on his own. You know, like, I look at Kevin Durant. You know, Kevin Durant is going to be an all-time great. Kevin Durant couldn't win a title on his own in terms, and nobody can, right? So I guess what I'm saying is
no, but he can't be the guy.
But he can't be the guy is sort of the thing. And so I think
that remains to be seen. We'll see.
Yeah. I because even now, if he wins one in Phoenix, he's not the guy, right? It's Devin Booker. It's Chris Paul.
I don't mean Durant. I mean Ja.
But Ja, and who knows? Ja might grow into whatever matures. I don't think it's that. To me, it's more of his game and his size. Like, I think he's just not going to be. Bro, I think Allen Iverson fucking spoiled us.
I was just gonna say.
Yeah, he spoiled us, man. It's so not normal to be 6'1" and dominate. Like, even Steph Curry, people are like, he's small. Steph Curry's still like 6'3".
He's like 6'2", 6'3",
yeah,
right?
And he plays outside of the arc, right? Like, Steph Curry isn't trying to go in and dunk, and he's not this explosive basketball player. Like, Ja Morant's an explosive guy. He's attacking the rim. He's doing that. Like, normally those guys don't have longevity. And then normally you can't be that guy and carry a team to an NBA Finals unless you're Allen Iverson. Like, that's the guy. Like, and fucking Allen Iverson, pound for pound, might be the greatest NBA player of all time. Yeah. So, yeah.
How we doing on time?
Dude, we thought we're an hour 3.
Okay.
And we thought we didn't have much, man. Look at us.
What you want to end with,
Holy
man?
shit,
You want to go end with these Ford cars?
Yo. This shit is crazy. Have you heard this story?
No,
I
have not.
Cars,
all I have on my list here is Ford cars. Talk to me about it.
Bro, Ford.
Talk to the people.
No, I'm talking to the people, bro. Ford, this is for the programs for people who did not win Nick Cannon's contest. Because what Ford is doing is they actually just filed a patent for this AI in the car that will repossess itself. So
like if you don't pay?
Yeah. So if you miss payments, it starts
so
in like
bank
levels.
Sponsoring this shit,
bro. You imagine brought to you by Ford Financial. Wells Fargo brings to you.
That would be the best one.
Oh my god!
It would be fucking Wells Fargo.
Wells Fargo, bro. The car will start deactivating certain features as you start, like, every day you miss a payment. Yeah, so it might be like, yo, the radio don't work today. How fucking ghetto is that? So the radio might not work because it's like, oh, and then it'll flash on your screen. Your payment's outstanding, and then it might be your GPS turns off, and so they say they're basically gonna make it uncomfortable for you to, like, they could control your AC or whatever the fuck to make you pay, and then if it gets to a certain point and you don't, the car will drive itself to a fucking lot, of repossessing lot, and like go off like when you're not in it and just take it.
But hold on. So in order to do this, right, you got to have a self-driving car.
Yeah, which tells me that they have this shit in the works And
this is-
this
okay.
is, because this is a patent that they have on this. So normally you get ahead of that patent before you actually release it. But the other crazy part of this too is that like the car could potentially lock itself so that you can't use it except Monday through Friday from certain windows because they want you to work so that you can pay them back. It's fucking hilarious, bro. I'm like, how great is this shit?
Or it goes, it fucking knows where you work just based on your driving habits. And it's like, nope, no detour today, bitch. Take your ass home
Bro,
or go to work.
Ford is going to be impacting the labor force the same way they did 100 some years ago because Ford is the reason we have, 5-day, 8-hour, 40-hour work weeks, whatever. Like Henry Ford is the reason that exists in its
Is that
current
right?
storm. Yeah, dude, the Ford factory is why, and his is why factories are
why the schools
Monday
are the way
through
they
Friday.
are.
Schools are the way they are. All that shit. He had a big influence in that because people had to go build cars from a certain time to a certain time. Kids needed to be in school. So, and I think. And at the time, it was considered better than the conditions before because the conditions before were 7 days a week, potentially. So I think in some ways it was like, oh, this is better. He allowed his factory workers to work Monday to Friday from whatever, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, he might be impacting this shit now too, where they just go like, nah, you can only work when your car fucking works. What if you're an Uber driver? Yeah, can you imagine you rolling around an Uber and the fucking car, the radio just shuts off and the GPS like, bro, I don't know where to take you. Like, where you go? Pull that shit up on your phone. Can I borrow it for a second so I can pop it into mine? Dude, this shit is so nuts, man. And I go, and it's gonna be so fucking normal.
Yeah, dude. And we talk about AI on this show, especially recently. It's so interesting and so scary at the same time of where AI is taking us.
Built Ford tough now. Yo, I just kept getting like fucking vision of you like walking out of a date. Like, you leave a restaurant and your fucking car drives past. Where's your car going? Oh, that motherfucker's supposed to pick me up. The damn computer must be failing.
Fucking AI.
I blame Elon. Let me get an Uber right quick. That shit is
That's
crazy,
dope, man. Yo, on that, tell them where they can find us.
Yo, you guys aren't already following us at the Carbon Football Podcast on Instagram, the Carbon FP Pod on Twitter, Carbon Football Podcast on TikTok, YouTube, the Carbon Football Podcast channel. Make sure you guys subscribe, like, comment on the videos on YouTube. Man, it's starting to gain traction there. It's pretty cool to see. You guys can also see the drinks on there. See how we're making them. Listen back, try them. Let us know. And then every major streaming audio platform, man. We're on Audible now. We are on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn, JioSaavn, Ghana, Google Podcasts, all of them, man. So check us out on there. Amazon Music, I think, is the other big one that I forgot. Podchaser, Pocket Cast, all of them. So check it out, man. Make sure you guys leave a review.
What's is it Audible, the other one?
Audible. Yep.
It.
So Audible now. So yeah, go on there, man. Instead of listening to a book, listen to us. It's probably more entertaining. Maybe. I don't know. Depends what you read.
Not.
Depends what you read. But yeah. And listen, liquor companies better get on it, bro. While we're still small.
Goddamn right.
It's gonna be a premium soon. If y'all want this spot here, we're gonna start blacking out the labels so you guys start paying.
Yo, as always, we appreciate you guys, and we will see you next week.
See you next week.
Peace.
Peace.